What's arguably the most recognizable brand in the world? You guessed it, Nike. So how did a guy go from selling shoes out of the back of his Plymouth Valiant to being the 26th richest man in the world with the most valuable sports brand? Today, we're looking at Phil Knight, the founder and visionary of Nike. Let's dive in. Phil Knight was born in 1938 in Portland, Oregon. He was a track runner at the University of Oregon, then he went to Stanford where he got his master's in business. At Stanford, he wrote a paper that would foreshadow his incredible career. It was titled, "Can Japanese Sports Shoes Do to German Sports Shoes What Japanese Cameras Did to German Cameras?" At the time, in the early 60s, two German brands, Adidas and Puma, were the leader in the sports shoe market. After graduating from Stanford, Phil Knight took a one-year trip around the world. He went to Calcutta, Manila, Bombay, Rome, and eventually Japan, where it all started. In Kobe, Japan, he stumbled upon Tiger shoes, which you may now recognize as Asics. He saw a very high-quality shoe for a low price point. Phil Knight said he was an American shoe distributor and managed to arrange a meeting with Tiger's founder. He made up a company name on the spot, calling it Blue Ribbon Sports, the original name of Nike. Much to his surprise, he left that meeting as the sole distributor of Tiger shoes in the Western United States. Really though, he was totally lying and had absolutely no experience at all. 12 months later, back in Oregon, he received his first shipment of 12 pairs of Tiger shoes. The first thing he did was send a few pairs of shoes to his former track coach at the University of Oregon, Bill Bowerman. He thought through Bill's connections in the sports world, it could help him sell through the shoes. Bill loved the shoes so much, he suggested to Phil that they partner in the company together and Bill would serve as the shoe designer. Bill was obsessed with the innovation and improvement of the shoes. With each batch they would receive from Tiger, he would send back notes, making them lighter with more cushion and better performance. In 1968, he designed a pair called the Cortez that became an instant hit. They were selling shoes way quicker than Tiger could supply them. With growing tension between Blue Ribbon Sports and Tiger shoes, they decided they needed a brand of their own. Jeff Johnson, the first ever employee that Phil Knight hired, had the idea to call the brand Nike, named after the goddess of victory. They also needed a logo, so Phil went to the University of Oregon and found a graphic design student who he commissioned for $35 to draw a logo. Enter the swoosh. Ironically, Phil didn't even like the logo that much, but it's probably the best $35 he ever spent in his life. Nike saw extreme growth over the next 15 years. In 1980, the company went public and overtook Adidas in terms of market share for the first time. By 1989, they were the largest sportswear company in America, largely due to unbelievable marketing campaigns like the Just Do It campaign. That ad was inspired by an American murderer on death row whose famous last words were, "Let's do it." Nike can attribute a lot of its success to exclusive endorsement deals. A good example, in 1985, the signing of Michael Jordan. They took a risk on a rookie who was about to sign with Adidas and offered him $500,000 a year for 5 years, 2 Mercedes cars, plus shoes designed to his specific requests. The Air Jordan brand today is worth over $10 billion. Hip-hop culture was also on the rise, and the Air Jordans were marketed as a shoe for rappers and artists. This gave rise to the sneaker movement in America. Other notable early signings were Tiger Woods, Lionel Messi, Andre Agassi, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Roger Federer, Serena Williams. The list goes on and on and on. One thing I love about Nike is they've never played it safe. They're arguably the greatest marketers of any brand in history. They take a stance on important issues and usually see growth following their risky campaigns. Examples include Colin Kaepernick, a divisive figure when he decided not to stand for the national anthem in protest to racial injustice. Boycott Nike hashtags appeared on Twitter, videos surfaced of people burning Air Jordan shoes. What seemed like a huge risk actually paid off, getting them over $160 million of brand exposure for free. Another example is their 1995 ad featuring an openly gay and HIV-positive marathon runner, Rick Munoz. This ad was blasted by critics, but following the campaign, they saw a 36% growth. Phil Knight is a pioneer. He's a man with a vision and a will to succeed. If there's anybody in history with a get-it-done type of mentality, it's him. Nike is one of the most valuable brands in the world. They're a trendsetter, they're a purveyor of culture, and it's largely attributed to a man who had a vision and a belief in himself.